Hey everybody, and welcome to my studio. With this video I just want to cover a tip when mixing with white. We use white to increase the value of our color mixtures, and what white does though is it will cool and it'll desaturate whatever color or mixture you're mixing it into. Alright, so for example, let's mix a nice orange. And this could be any color mixture. And so with this orange, put the original color here, and then we'll add white to it to reduce the value. And immediately you'll see that it cools it substantially, but it also takes away some of the color, so it desaturates. And the simple tip is whenever you're mixing with white, we'll use this as an example, there we go, is to go back into the original colors that you mixed into it, or some of them, but since we know we just added a little bit of cad yellow and a little bit of cad red, we'll mix a tiny bit back in, swirl those around, and you can see automatically the saturation came back, the chromacy of the color came back, a lot more lively, a lot more intense, even though after we initially added the white it really cooled it. So we'll put it right beside this one, or just our yellow mixture, and you can see how much more vibrant and lively that color is, right? Value hasn't changed, visibly anyway. I'm sure it has a little bit if we were to analyze it, but visually it has not changed the value. However, it has visually changed the, in this case, the chromaticity and the temperature as well. Let's try that with another color. Let's say we're just going for simple sky blue. Right, let's say that was the darkness, how dark your sky was, and we're going to reduce it so it's right near the horizon. So add a lot of white, because we know the sky will gradate down to the white, to lightness of the horizon. We'll add a tiny bit of yellow, because that's what happens around the horizon, right? And so, let me get everything mixed in a little bit better. So what it does is it instantly cooled the color, and sometimes that's the benefit, but it's also taking a little bit of the chromacy out. So we're going to take this value of this blue, put it here, and let's say we want to try to get the sky a little more intense. So all you need to do is add a little bit more of the blue you initially started with, right, and potentially some of the yellow as well, and remix it in there. And now we compare it to what we previously mixed. And there's a little more chromacy in that color, a little more life. And this is a good habit to get into with any colors you mix. Let's try this one more time with, say, a flesh tone. I'll try to make a video about how to mix flesh tones, but in the meantime we'll just use this as an example so you can see how much adding white will cool the mixture. Alright, we might be a bit, that's not bad. That could work as a shadow on a face. So we'll just save some of that. And now we'll add a bit of white to increase its value. Get a good decent mixture. And instantly it'll start to cool it, but also desaturate it. Cooling can work to your advantage if you're working under cool light situations. But having said that, it still will desaturate your mixture. And a good way to compensate for that is like I just did before. Take some of the initial pigments that you had. Oh, let's do a reference swatch here. And add some of the initial colors in that you're using, or just a couple. You don't need to use them all. And remix it. And it brings a little bit more chromacy into the color. It doesn't warm it up too much if you're working with cool light, but it provides a nice contrast, or not contrast, but a nice comparison here on the different colors. Let's get a little closer with these colors. Starting with the orange mixture. Focus. You can see the mixture on the left that we initially threw the white in, and then the mixture on the right, which we add a little bit more color into. You can see the mixture on the right has a little more chromatic glow to it. Moving down to the blue, the sky color, right? We initially mixed the mixture on the left with the white. And it wasn't bad, but then we threw in a little bit more blue and a tiny bit of yellow, and it brought the chromacy up just a little bit more. Last but not least, the flesh tone. The mixture on the left is the original mixture with just white, which left it a little bit cooler, a little bit chalkier, so less chromatic. And on the right hand side, we added a bit of the ochre, red, and sienna back in, and it brought it back to life again. If you squint, you can tell those colors are all the same value still. It's just the one on the right has a little more life to it. Excellent. So next time you sit down to do a painting and you have to lighten your colors with your white, try to add some of the original pigments back into that mixture to bring them back to life. I think you'd be happy with that. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like and share. And don't forget to subscribe. Cheers.